Much. Thank you, folks. I know we all want to network and everything like that. Good to be back. Thank you all. Now, we're going to be talking about the area of privacy and data, personal data as well. So I'd like to welcome Kumud Sharma, who is Head of Business Development for the surf side of things, up to the stage. And Kumud will be presiding over this. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And yes, I hope you all are now rejuvenated with a cup of coffee, tea, and some biscuits, of course. Cookies, I'm sorry. So my name is Kumud Sharma. I'm the Head of Sales at Surf Solutions. And before I start discussing about this panel thing and the panelist, I'm sure many of you must be having this question. MEF, such a big corporate global event, and she's all decked up in this yellow, bright, shine shirt. Why so? Because we are the surfers. We are unusual. We are unusually intelligent. That is how we claim ourselves. You know, the products that we have, unique products. The name that we have is unique, surf. We just surf, we just roam around, and we create something out of the box. So with the data privacy and security of the enterprise at the forefront, we have got two products in the market. One is the consent and preference management platform. And I must say, blockchain-based, unusual, centralized consent and preference management platform. And second is Authentica, the adaptive multi-factor authentication platform. But you know, the time limitation that we have on this panel discussion, I won't be able to boast much about the products and about us and about the surfers that we have. So without taking much of the time here, let's start the panel discussion. And I would like to first invite Mr. Prabhat Kumar, who is the CEO and the moderator for the panel discussion. So Mr. Prabhat Kumar is an industry leader and a tech entrepreneur with more than 2.5 decades of year experience. And he has been phenomenal, and he has a track record of converting the business ideas into successful businesses. He is a founding member and director of Esport Federation of India, and he is now coming up with his new initiative with the surf. So ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause to Mr. Prabhat Kumar.
Thank you, Kumud. Thank you. Before starting the panel discussion, I wanted to take back to you the last panel discussion. One of the panelists, I guess it was Shikha from Airtel, which talked about consumer interest should be safeguarded, right? Of course, it has to be safeguarded, and Government of India has heard you, and they are going to table the DPDP bill in July. That's what the news talks about. So there are two communication related to privacy. One is UCC, which has been regulated by TCCCPR guidelines of UCC 2018. And another is DPDP bill of 2019. Then again, they have tabled in 2022. And it is going to be passed in 2023, July. That's what our expectation is. But the problem here, which we need to see, what kind of impact enterprise is going to have. Are they going to invest a lot of money on infrastructure? Are they need to, there is a huge penalty on DPDP. It starts from 50 CR to 250 CR by breaching the any of the regulation. Now, so this discussion, we are going to talk about how enterprise is going to take future ready to make sure that regulation is followed. But beyond, it is not about regulation. Can enterprise take the advantage to create trust? Trust in their consumers. So both the things are important, not only regulation, but also a trust. So before we start the panel discussion, I would like to run you through a small video which talks about all regulation worldwide, and then we'll call all the panelists for a discussion further. Can you run a video?
Consentica presents Consent Management Overview. In a globally connected world, data privacy and data security is a major concern for all stakeholders. UCC are communications made to subscribers without their knowledge or willingness via voice calls or SMS. Apart from being inconvenient, such communications also have an impact on people's privacy. Trust is the new KPI. Consent is equal to trust. Consent means any voluntary permission given by the customer to sender to receive commercial communication related to specific purpose, product or service. Legal framework that sets guidelines for the collection and processing of personal information are evolving globally. General Data Protection Regulation Compliance. As the world's most comprehensive data protection legislation, the GDPR requires organizations to operationalize and demonstrate compliance with many requirements and principles for personal data processing. The EU's GDPR paved the way for data privacy and protection laws around the world, and one of the latest is the emerging Personal Data Protection Bill in India. The Telecom Commercial Communications Customer Preference Regulations. To prevent customers from receiving unsolicited commercial communication, TRAI has revised the rules for telemarketers and enterprises for sharing bulk SMS voice call services in India. Presently, TCCCPR guidelines is governed using distributed ledger technology DLT, and of its 4 phases, 3 have already been implemented. Of the 4th phase, digital consent and preferences yet to be implemented. While soon to be enforced Digital Personal Data Protection (DPDP) Bill 2022 is a legislation that frames out the rights and duties of the citizen on one hand and the obligations to use collected data lawfully of the data fiduciary on the other hand. Keeping this in mind, SURF has come up with India's first centralized consent management platform, Consentica, that helps enterprise to collect, document, and manage their consent securely. Consentica is backed by blockchain technology. It takes care of the complete consent and preference life cycle of the customer from opt-ins, opt-outs, and renewals. It also acts as a single pane of glass and the source of truth.
So now we would like to invite on stage our panelists. We'll start with Mr. Bhagwati Prasad Dubey, the Chief Information Security Officer at Axis Mutual Fund. Mr. Bhagwati has more than 15 years of experience and has worked with HDFC Life, Tata AIG, SBI Life and more before starting his tenure with Axis Mutual Fund. Welcome. Then we have Mr. Dilip Maji, Head of Enterprise Data at HDFC Bank. Dilip is an innovator, game changer, and technical leader with 24 years of experience in data space. Mr. Pravash Dash, the founder and CEO at Arthan Finance. Pravash is a mentor, angel investor, and a seasoned retail banker with 18 years of experience. He has worked with Axis Bank, RBL Bank, and Yes Bank before founding Arthan Finance. We have Mr. Vikas Goyal. Mr. Vikas Goyal is a senior director at Gupshup. He is a business leader with rich experience in Indian and African region. Vikas is a risk taker and a change evangelist. And then we have Mr. Zafar Owais Andrabi, the founder and CEO at Al Muqeet Systems. Zafar is a serial entrepreneur with a focus on software and telecommunication space. Welcome, everyone. I'll just now hand over the discussion to Mr.
Thank you, panelists, for joining. So today's news talked about, the new DPDP bill is going to come, and they're going to be tabled in Parliament in July. So I have a question to all the panelists, whatever views you have. that is our organization in India. I'm not talking about only a large organization, even a large organization or a small organization are ready to follow this regulation or going to be implemented. Of course, government is going to give you 6 months time or 1 year time to implement this. But do you think they really need to invest or in terms of infrastructure, in terms of policies, securities? What are your views on implementing this and getting the regulation implemented properly?
like as it's not a new like GDPR is going to put up in the parliament. It's like years. Last year also it was placed, so people already have a gist of what is going to happen, and in fact organizations are focused on it, and it's minimally everybody is prepared for it. So somebody has already invested in some of the things. Some are in a projected pipeline. So I hope everybody's somewhat a bit is ready to take care. And as we already have our EU, so some knowledge are also coming from their side. So I think more or less the big giants are already prepared. Might be it will be a new initiatives for smaller.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah. So let me give some statistics, what is happening behind the scenes. So in 1962, when Indian government, they declared that, we are going or implementing FI, the financial inclusion. It means allow the very common people to access the banks, 1962. We just got the, Then if you look at 2004, people got access into ATM without, going into the banks, right? Then 2014 or 16, right? Bhim, UPI and all, right? So that means the trend is showing we are extremely ramping from, time to time, and the cost